Isaiah Hartenstein may have just called out former Knick teammate Jalen Brunson in a wild statement that he made when discussing Jalen Brunson and the differences between him and Shai Gilgeous Aleander, in a quote basically saying where he believes Shai is better than Brunson, despite the fact that Isaiah Hartenstein and Brunson played 2 years together, seeing multiple playoff appearances. Hartenstein is basically kind of calling Jalen Brunson out to a degree and saying that Brunson can't do it on his own, and we're going to break this all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. 27% of viewers are subscribed. Let's get those numbers up. But, guys, let's jump right into it, because Isaiah Hartenstein, it sounds like he just called Jalen Brunson out for saying he's not as good of a point guard as Shai Gilgeous Aleander is. Now, let me just say something very quickly about Jalen Brunson. He is so talented, a top 3 point guard in the NBA. Should be in the top 10 of MVP voting right now. I just need to get that out of the way. There is a very good argument that I would make that Shai is having a better season than Jalen Brunson. Just wanted to get that out of the way for anyone who's thinking that I'm saying Brunson is better than Shai. This year, Shai has been better than Jalen Brunson, and I don't want people to think I'm saying otherwise. However, Hartenstein went out of his way to basically say that Shai is far better than him, and essentially Brunson needed Hartenstein's help, almost is the way it sounded like, and not like Hartenstein specifically, but just needed more help. Now, taking a look at the comment Hartenstein made, he said when comparing Brunson and Shai that Brunson was really more of me trying to get him open and establishing the two-man game a little bit. Then, sometimes with Shai, sometimes it's just better to get out of his way and let him do his thing because he's so skilled offensively. Yes, Shai Gilgeous Aleander is one of the most skilled players in basketball, but so is Jalen Brunson. Why are we doing this? Why is Isaiah Hartenstein basically saying, yeah, well, Brunson, you never have to get out of his way? Brunson literally just scored 42 points and a half. He just did that. Literally yesterday, he just did that. Some of you are watching this 2 days later, but same thing. He just put up 42 points and a half. I think it's safe to say that, like Shai Gilgeous Aleander, sometimes Brunson's going to score at a clip where you decide, hey, I should probably just get the hell out of the way. Now, this is a shocking comment from Hartenstein, who was with the Knicks for 2 years, saw his breakout happen with the Knicks, and it happened the same time that Jalen Brunson broke out and became an NBA star as well. The two played for the Knicks together for 2 years, and then Hartenstein left to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a contract that was basically double in salary per year, so it made sense why he left. I don't think any Knicks fans really should have animosity towards Hartenstein for leaving. Hartenstein even admitted that if that offer came from a bad team, he would have declined it to stay with the Knicks. It's the fact that he was getting paid double to play for a team as good, if not better, than the Knicks, so it makes sense why Hartenstein left. All this being said, it's still kind of wild to comment something and basically say, well, yeah, well, there's Shai and then there's Brunson. Like, that seems kind of wild to do. However, Hartenstein, I mean, look, he's very confident. He's always talked with confidence. He's not someone who's going to back down, and he's very honest. And look, maybe he just thinks Shai is better after playing with both of them, and that's fair. I mean, I think Shai's better, but I think Brunson's right there. I think look, this season, Shai is better. He should be a top 5 MVP candidate this year. Brunson should be a top 10. At the same time, what Brunson did in the playoffs last year was unmatched by any guard or player in the NBA. I mean, 4 straight 40-point games is absolutely lunacy. Jalen Brunson is that good, and on any given night, he can be the most dynamic force in basketball. I don't want this to sound like I'm bashing Brunson at all. Obviously, like any Knicks fan, I love Jalen Brunson, and I think that he's a top 10 player in the NBA. I just also think that Shai happens to be a top 5 player in the NBA right now. And who knows? Once the playoffs come around, things could change. Knicks could do well. Thunder might not. Brunson's obviously a better shooter than him. And honestly, he's a pretty great isolation scorer. So I don't really see Hartenstein's comments and why he did this. But talking a bit about Hartenstein and his Knicks time, he recently spoke very highly of the New York Knicks. He said it was big playing in the Mecca, playing in big games, especially the playoffs. Me and Jalen Brunson came in there and kind of changed it around. That was big. Playing in the Garden was always special. Being out there was a special experience. It was hard to leave. It wasn't easy. I loved being out there and I loved my teammates. If I couldn't go to a place like OKC, I don't think I would have left. But also, you have to think about it being a business, and at the end of the day, it wasn't like I've had a whole bunch of $100 million contracts before this. I had to make sure my family was straight. He literally felt the need to give an explanation on why he left the New York Knicks. He went out there and did that. No, he didn't owe the Knicks that. he wanted to show that he did not want to leave the Knicks. It was a financial situation that prevented him from staying with the New York Knicks. He also said that him and Brunson turned it around. Look, as I said, I'm a massive fan of Jalen Brunson. It wasn't Hartenstein and Brunson. It was Jalen Brunson. Yes, Julius Randle getting the Knicks to the playoffs that year prior led to the 2 years prior, led to the Knicks realizing that they might be able to contend sooner than they thought, and then deciding to sign Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Hartenstein. Once they did that, Jalen Brunson exploded, became one of the best point guards in the NBA, and yes, Hartenstein was a huge part of a very successful team. The team is still very successful without Isaiah Hartenstein. If Jalen Brunson were to have left the Knicks, the team would not be very successful at all. It's just the way it is. I mean, it would force Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges to probably want to leave. Karl-Anthony Towns would be staring down the barrel of a team that's not very good. It would also have a massive ripple effect. He's the captain. He's the best player on the team. Towns has had the best season, but I'm still just going to say Brunson's the best player on the team because, come on, he's the best player on the team. But regardless, I digress. Jalen Brunson and Shai Gilgeous Aleander are both incredible talents, and Hartenstein has been lucky to play with some great players in his career, but it's more than that. Hartenstein was a great player, and losing him sucked. Now, this season, Hartenstein is balling out, putting up 12.5 points per game with 13 rebounds, getting 4 assists and a block and a steal per game. He's fouling a bit, but it doesn't matter. He's shooting 59% from the field. He's yet to hit a 3. He is shooting them. He's just yet to hit one. He's not shooting a ton of them. But Hartenstein absolutely going insane, having the best season of his NBA career, which stings to lose him. But you also do have to consider the other side of things, which is that losing Hartenstein led to the Knicks trading for Karl-Anthony Towns. Towns is putting up 24.5 points per game, 13.5 rebounds, 54% from the field, and 44% from 3. Towns is having an unbelievable year, also getting 3.5 assists, showing why he also should be in the top 5 of MVP voting, like Shai. Now, both of these guys are very talented. Obviously, Towns is better than Hartenstein, but that has nothing to do with anything. The point is that Isaiah Hartenstein's having a good season, and it sucks they lost him, because if the Knicks were able to have him right now, they'd be a much better team with Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, Hartenstein also recently spoke on the Trae Young dice roll thing and said, I wouldn't have let him roll dice on midcourt and MSG. If I was there, for sure not. I would have done something. So Hartenstein, you could tell, still does root for the Knicks. He still does ride for them in a certain way because they're the team that helped him become the player he is now. And it's not that it was direct shade towards Jalen Brunson, but he definitely knew what he was saying right there, that he was saying, yeah, well, Shai's better. Like, it is kind of wild to go out and say that into the microphone, but there's nothing the Knicks can do about it. The Knicks and Thunder are playing each other very soon, and hopefully what happens is Jalen Brunson shows them all up and shows why he is as good of a point guard as anyone in the NBA, because, let's face it, he kind of is. I mean, Jalen Brunson's just that good. There's no way around it. Given Shai is great as well, it's a debate between two guys who are phenomenal point guards. This year, Shai is putting up 31 points per game with 5.5 rebounds and 6 assists. He's also getting 2 steals and a block per game. He's shooting 35% from 3 and 52% from the field, also shooting 43% on corner threes. Very good, showing that he has to be guarded in the corner as well, with the whole narrative of the worst part about his game is his shooting. So Shai is just getting better and better. He's a true superstar in the NBA. There's a reason why the Thunder are one of the favorites to win the NBA Finals, and frankly, Jalen Brunson also deserves a ton of credit. He's just not having this year. That being said, Jalen Brunson is putting up 25.5 points, 8 assists per game, 3 rebounds. He's also shooting 49% from the field and 41% from 3. I mean, Jalen Brunson is just as good of a scorer in isolation as anyone in the NBA. He's shown that time and time again. So it's not that Shai's having some far and away better year. They're both very good. They're both having very good seasons. Shai's is better, but it's not like some otherworldly difference between these two. Absolutely not. They're both very close, and it's why they're 2 of the 3 best guards in the NBA, the other one being Luka Doncic, who, let's face it, Luka's the best in the NBA. But he is. That makes it sound like I was calling Hartenstein Luka. Obviously not true. Honestly, I just didn't know that thing would pop up, if I'm being real. But look, the New York Knicks, they play the Oklahoma City Thunder very soon, and this is going to make tensions rise for it. And when Jalen Brunson gets called out by someone, he usually goes on a massive tear because that's what the greats do. I'm really, really excited for this game. I can't wait to watch it. But guys, if you're liking watching this, make sure to subscribe, like, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. Guys, have a great day and go Knicks.